Hi, welcome to Trap Souls Podcast. I'm here with Dark Water Tours, April and Jeremy from Mississippi. So, what part of Mississippi are you guys from?
We are in Goshen, Mississippi. And thank you for having us, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. I love talking to a whole bunch of different groups. Try to get a whole bunch of you guys do tours, so that's kind of cool. I don't think I've had a tour company on before. Besides, I've had Haunted Havens on. She does a whole bunch of events, but you guys actually are specific to the area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool. You guys are more down by the whatever you want, Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, right?
Right.
Personal preference there these days.
Yeah, personal. The Gulf.
Yeah.
We'll just call it the Gulf.
That's right.
The Gulf.
The Gulf.
Yeah.
So,
if you're familiar with Biloxi, we're about 2 towns over from Biloxi. Of course, we've got the beaches and the casinos, and we moved here from Tennessee. What has it been? 6 years now?
6 years now, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a culture shock because we moved from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a big college town, and we don't even have a Walmart here. So that was interesting. We did move during COVID also. And so we did a lot of our house hunting via Zoom.
Remote.
And so we really didn't know a whole lot about the area. My parents were coming down here, checking out the casinos, and they would come home and talk about how beautiful it was and all the pretty homes on stilts. And so I, serious but joking, also said, well, before our daughter starts kindergarten, why don't we just sell our houses and move? And that's exactly what we did.
So I was down in Biloxi for my son's. We went down there for Christmas because he was at tech school at the Air Force Base down there. And I'll tell you what, I ate shrimp tacos every day.
Right.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It was Christmas time. Not really much going on there. I said, but you got casinos, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk about the paranormal in that area. There's a lot of history in that area. So, what drew you to the paranormal around that area?
So just in general, it's something that I guess I have to say has been attached to me more than I've been attached to it initially. Had tons of experiences myself when I was younger, even to the point to where I wasn't even really sure that weird things were happening. I thought that I thought everybody else was experiencing similar things. We lived in a house that was haunted when I was a kid, and I grew up hearing all those stories. And so it's just something that I've always been into. And Jeremy and I met and married 10 years ago. And that was one thing that we had in common was the paranormal. And to be honest with you, we honeymooned in New Orleans. I call that my soul city. Just absolutely love it. And so, yeah, it's just something that we've always
just kind of drawn to it. Anytime we go on any kind of trip or anywhere we go on vacation, we always look for any kind of tours or any kind of paranormal investigations we can do. We love history and we love the paranormal. So we decided to kind of combine the both of those.
Yeah. You have to love both of them, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you guys have a tour company up in Tennessee, or is this something you started down in Mississippi?
No, we didn't have anything in Tennessee. When we moved down here, we noticed that there wasn't any type of immersive experience. My goodness, we don't even have what are they called? The escape rooms. Unfortunately, where we live with the hurricanes, things get built and then they get destroyed. And slowly but surely, the coast of Mississippi is trying to rebuild. But I'm sure, just like any coastal town, you slow roll it, for fear of what hurricane's going to take it out next. But yeah, so we noticed that there wasn't anything like that around. And I don't know if you visited Ocean Springs when you were in Biloxi, visiting your son, but it is,
beautiful town.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's, mossy oak trees lining the streets. It's not very big. Tons of history in Ocean Springs, and it is right on the water. And so we were just like,
Why not?
Perfect spot. Why not? So we got to work.
And here we are, Dark Waters Tours.
That's right.
Yep.
So, I mean, a lot of people, like, you talk about the hurricanes and everything getting, I guess destroyed, you want to call it. I hate to call it that, but that's what happens. But there's still a lot of history in that ground. And just because a building is gone doesn't mean a paranormal is gone.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't, a lot of people, it is funny that you say that, because a lot of people will say, well, it's a new house, it can't be haunted. Well, how old is the land? That's the question.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your favorite spots out there? I mean, you guys, I'm assuming you guys investigate too, just not do tours, but like in Mississippi, I've never investigated in Mississippi. What are some of the hot spots out there? Like,
well, believe it or not, Mississippi does not have a whole lot. North Mississippi in Vicksburg, they have a beautiful place called McRaven Home, and that's pretty popular. There is also a place called the House in Between in Florence, Mississippi. Let's see, a couple of the paranormal teams. Let's see, who is it? Not the group with Jason Hawes, but something Gonzalez. I can't even think of his name right now. I'm on the spot. But a couple of paranormal teams, the TV shows, have been out there. And last year I went, and it was interesting. But really, I mean, Mississippi is not oversaturated the way that the North is. I mean, I'm jealous that there are so many more places to investigate, to visit, to tour. And you would think that being in the South that you would have just as much. But we don't have a whole lot of places. We do have a special place here in town called Pascagoula. It is called the LaPointe Krebs House and Museum. And it was built in, was it? I can't
remember the exact date.
1857? 1757.
Mm-hmm.
And we just recently was granted permission to go in there and do a public investigation. We are amateur paranormal enthusiasts.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Learning
new stuff every day.
Yes, definitely. Sure. Definitely. I want to give a shout out to Zach Meekins with Alone in the Dark, actually, because he has been so helpful with the equipment, and he put us on the Phasma box. And when we went a couple weeks ago to the LaPointe Krebs house and did our public investigation, it was a hit. I mean, a
lot of activity,
so much activity, and more than what we even expected. We had been out to the property, we'd heard the stories, we had interviewed a lot of people, been out there a lot and done our own little investigations and things like that before we brought people in, and it wasn't quiet, to say the least. But once we brought in that Phasma box, we were pretty impressed. So we appreciate, the help there.
Yeah,
but yeah, the LaPointe Krebs house is not on the paranormal map, so to speak. Love to get it on there, because it's just, I mean, the history there is unreal. So.
Yeah, Zach is awesome. I mean, he was on my show a while ago, I think, but he's always willing to help everybody out. He's just a good guy.
Yeah, I had just posted on one of the groups, point me in the right direction of a tripwire. And here you come. And so he answered a couple of questions, and then one thing led to another. He was like, oh, yeah, by the way, you should look into this. And so we really appreciate it.
Did you guys get the tripwire then?
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah, I emailed you because I had the guy who makes it was on my show also.
Okay.
So I was like, he's the original maker of it. I know there's probably some other ones out there, but I know what work he puts into those.
Right. A lot of people suggested him for sure.
Yeah.
So another shout out to North Canton for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome. You guys talked about being amateurs, investigators. I think that's better when you're doing tours, especially showing people places, because you're learning too.
Right.
And there's too many people out there just too comfortable, and they think they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's cool to learn a little bit from those people, but when they're going into like the same thing you are and learning, I think they feel a lot more comfortable.
Yes, I agree. Mm-hmm.
And nothing bothers me more than people that think they know the answers to the paranormal. We will never know. I mean,
No,
No,
absolutely
no.
not. I know. And the day I say this a lot, the day that there are no more questions to ask, or I don't, because even every time we go somewhere, I get a little freaked out. And that's the part that I love,
The joy of it. Yeah.
So the day that stops happening, on to something next, which I doubt that'll ever happen,
I don't
but
think it
no,
will. I don't
I'm
think it will.
too invested.
Yeah.
but there was a point in time where I stopped getting like nervous about going into places. But that's why I like to feel. I like to feel the fear a little bit. Like I don't know what's going to happen. And it was a 6-7 month span where I was like, I can walk in anywhere. So I was pushing the limits a little bit, and they pushed back finally. And then now I'm like, okay, I felt that again. Let's backtrack a little bit because it was fun, but I don't want it all the time. But no, that's cool. I mean, it's all about learning in this field, and you always learn. You will get. Have you felt since you started to now a little more comfortable?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we've been on a lot of paid investigations. It's just something that we really enjoy to do. Like Jeremy said, when we go out of town, the first two things we do is find the haunted history book of whatever city, town that we're in, buy it, and then we find a history or, historical ghost walking tour. And with the investigations, people would briefly tell us like what it is that we're doing, and that was exciting because we didn't really know all the things, and like that's something that we have vowed to do is just like be a little more informative.
Right.
So as an example, with the walking tour, they can add on dowsing rods or an EMF detector, and so explaining those to them, which is his job. I even hand him my recorder and I'm like, here, stop this. Like I let him handle all the equipment. I don't know much about
it.
it.
Gets them more engaged.
It
It gives them something to actually be involved with, involved in the investigation kind of. And that's something which, going all these investigations that we've done, paid investigations, is like some of the things that they do and they say, it just doesn't make any sense, doesn't add up. And that's something that she said, we vowed to do when we started this, where we think we would be really good at this, is we know what we would want in an investigation, what we would enjoy doing and experiencing. So, and another thing, we kind of like to debunk everything, if something was to happen, and we're really going to find out that if it actually happened or it didn't, because we don't want any false positives there.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool because like you said, get people involved, like EMF detectors. I don't really use them, but just walking around doing a tour, nothing's happening. Then you have a new person doing a tour, and that thing spikes a little bit. I mean, go up 2 lights. How excited do they get?
Exactly.
Right.
And I mean, anybody can walk around and just talk and point to a building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But getting somebody a piece of equipment, getting them involved in it, getting them to actually see their face light up, get a little spooked a little bit. That's what it's about for us. And to show them, shed some more light on the history of the town, and let them have a little bit of excitement at the same time.
So yeah, there's a lot of history down there, and I'm wondering why paranormal's not that big down there compared to like the north.
Right.
Is it because of the religious aspect?
If I had to guess, I would say good old Bible Belt.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, it's because you go to the Caribbean, they believe in the stuff.
That's right.
Majority don't investigate it. We know it's there, we leave it alone. And I wonder if that's kind of got pushed up through 200 years into the Mississippi. I mean, New Orleans is still huge, but I don't know how much they investigate in New Orleans.
They do quite a bit. They do.
Yeah.
But what's an interesting fact about Ocean Springs is that it was incorporated in 1699. That was 300 years before New Orleans ever was incorporated over there. So there's tons more history here before New Orleans ever started. And that's what we're trying to do. Like I said, shed more light and get things going down here. because there's tons of it around. There's plenty of it. But we were talking just the other day that all the shows that you see are all up north.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. We just like to bring more people down here to see what we have to offer.
Yeah. And we didn't know, we knew we wanted to have public investigations, but we weren't sure exactly what that was going to look like. And so I had already been a part of a lot of the Facebook groups, paranormal groups, things like that, for years. And then once we opened up Dark Water Tours, we, suck our way in, and everybody has just been so friendly. At first I was like, nobody, like we're not going to be part of Paranuity because we're not paranormal investigators,
Right.
And so, but that's not the case. We've been treated exceptionally well, and we really appreciate it. We just, we want to be a part of the community, and I feel like we are. But we're excited because in middle of March, we're going to do the Haunted Fairbanks House in Sicily Island, Louisiana.
Okay.
Have you heard of that one, the Fairbanks House?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never been there, though.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be pretty spooky.
Yeah, there was a couple of episodes that have aired on that one. And so we're pretty excited. It's going to be the Louisiana Spirits that are hosting. So we're just going as guests. We want to meet new people and learn, and also have the experience ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's right up our alley. This is what we live for. And then it's March. We're going to have a booth at the New Orleans Paracon. That kind of just happened because at first we were like, well, we got asked if we wanted to do that. And I was like, well, what in the world would we do? We don't have merchandise. We don't
sell anything like that.
So we know a guy that runs a tour group in New Orleans. They're the New Orleans Paranormal Society, and fabulous guy. He pretty much
very knowledgeable.
Took us underneath his wing. Yeah. And has helped us out a lot when it comes to building the tours and things like that. But anyway, so we're doing the Paracon just to kind of get eyes and visibility and introduce ourselves, because I know that if I'll drive to New Orleans, which we went back November and did the Andrew Jackson Motel, which was on the bucket list for the longest time because it just standing out front gives you the chills.
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to do the Paracon, and then that's the end of July. And then middle of July, we are going to go to St. Louis, Missouri, and meet up with Creations of Uniqueness, the Strange, Dark, and Mysterious Market, and then also Explorers of the Afterlife. They're putting on this camping trip. And going to hang out during the day and then do some investigating at night. And again, we're going just as guests. I mean, we're still
new to
the paid people that taking and doing all the things, just like we want everybody to do, come to our tour, we'll come to yours. I had put out a post not too long ago, and I was like, all right, look, I need everybody to tell me who you're with, what group you're with, if you have a page, if I can't keep up, but it's slowly starting to all come together, and I'm connecting the dots. And I mean, the community's huge,
humongous,
blown away. I love it. I love it. And I had mentioned to you earlier, I have had so many different experiences. I can't help but not be, I don't know. It's just right up my alley. There's just really no other way to say it. This is my dream job. Well, Josh Gates actually has my dream job, but that'll never happen. So
you guys do tours. You guys might cover your cost. I mean, that's the way it is.
Yep.
And that's what we talked about when we started this, is that we're not trying to get rich at doing anything like this. We enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we enjoy getting together. And that's one of the best things about it. We do it as a family. Our daughter even gets involved with it. She's 8 years old. She enjoys doing it. So that's one of the things that we just love doing it. And that's why we want to get everybody else involved as well and come down here and get people to see we have more to offer than just beaches and casinos. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's more to it than that.
So do you guys get any backlash because your daughter's so young? Like that answers that question. No,
Well,
go ahead.
you know, it is frowned upon a little bit. Well, the main thing that we get told a lot is, you're going to bring something home. She's going to bring something home. I don't know.
I mean, as long as you protect yourself and do your prayers, you're good.
Our daughter does not go on full-blown investigations with us or anything like that. But what she does enjoy doing is like the prep work. Like when we first started going out to the Point Cribs, before we opened it up to the public and we were doing our own little investigation, she likes to walk through the cemetery with her dowsing rods and, and she also likes to listen to EVP recordings with Jeremy. And so but she also makes our we've done a few videos with Raven, put it on TikTok and things like that. But
she enjoys doing that.
Yeah.
She does. She's a little actress.
I'm not really worried about it because she's not full blown, She's not breaking out the Ouija board on Friday night saying, "Can we have family night?"
game night. Break out the Ouija board.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't have a problem with it. My daughter does it with me. I mean, she's older now, but I think she was 12 when she started going with me here and there. But I mean, you're a mother, father, you're not going to put your daughter in harm's way.
No, absolutely not.
And being even amateur investigators, as you call yourself, which you're more than amateurs. But what do you think? What do you think like friendly spirits to dark spirits are? I mean, I believe there's like over 90% of spirits just want to be heard.
I agree.
Yep, absolutely.
So I mean,
they're either trapped or don't know what's going on or just need help.
Yeah.
I don't think they're here to necessarily bother or hurt anybody.
I think they just want to be heard.
Right.
Yes.
And remembered. I mean, that's my biggest thing. I always tell everybody, a lot of people on my show, is that I'm not here to try to find the answers to the afterlife. I'll find that out sooner or later. That's life. Let's go out there and remember. And that's what you're doing with the history.
Yep.
You're remembering the history, which, let's be honest, in this day and age, we try to erase history.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are keeping that alive, so to speak.
Right.
And, and that's a beautiful thing to me. I mean, I can go to a place, get no action, but it's just cool to see that building or that place because of the history that it went through. I'm going to bring up one thing too, beaches. Do you guys investigate beaches with all the shipwrecks? I mean, I know they're miles off shore, but do you think there's something there?
I do, yeah. We have not investigated a whole lot on that side, but I definitely believe. I mean, I couldn't imagine that there wouldn't be.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is a lot of activity, but yeah, we haven't had the chance or opportunity to get over to doing that part of the investigations for the beaches or any shipwrecks or something like that, which it'd be cool to do. But it's just, you got to know the right person. And that's what we're trying to do, is try to network and get involved in some of these things and figure out how we can get to these investigations.
Yeah,
a lot of private areas here is what Jeremy's talking about, like as far as like going investigating on. We have like several public beach areas. But have you ever heard of the Singing River story? So long time ago, there were two tribes and they were fighting. And one of the tribes, Indian tribes, were getting the best of the other. And so one group, and I apologize, there's literally to this story, there's no like tribe A or tribe B, like any type of name or anything. But supposedly they chose death over being like, they walked into the water hand in hand and they were singing a song. And we have actually heard it. They claim that you can hear this humming, singing sound over in the Pascagoula River, over off by in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And it is beautiful and eerie all at the same time.
Very eerie.
But like I said, they just chose to the whole clan to walk into the Pascagoula River and end it versus, being taken out by the other tribe. And like I said, we have heard it.
Yeah.
It starts off, we've heard it twice. It starts off like a train slowing down on tracks, but then it turns into this, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I love it. I love it. So,
how big is this river? Is it like huge, or can you like kayak it or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's pretty. I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you how big it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty massive.
It goes into the Gulf.
Yeah.
The Pascagoula River.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm just picturing it'd be very cool to do like an investigation, like kayak night investigation.
Mm-hmm.
With like
exactly
tape a REM pod or something on your kayak. I don't know.
Right.
We've knocked on the door of the home, which is also historic itself, that is on the property where this happened, and we're still knocking. So
okay, something different. You know, even if it's boats. Do you guys have alligators down there?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh,
when we first moved here, there was one in the middle of the road, like you would see a deer crossing, and I was like, I don't know what to think about Mississippi, but and turtles, and we call them trash pandas. What's their real name? What are they called?
Raccoon.
Trash panda.
Raccoon.
Yeah.
So we call them up. Same thing up here.
Yeah.
They actually call our city nature's playground because we have everything. We even have a black bear.
No joke.
So.
Yeah. We don't have alligators, but we got trash pandas, and some bears will come through here every now and then, migrating to the mountains. So but as long as we don't have alligators or poisonous snakes, that's all I care about. Like, that stuff scares me. I'd rather walk into a haunted basement than deal with any of that stuff. So
yeah.
Right.
No, it's cool. Mississippi's awesome. A lot of history. Let's get into your investigations. Like, have you ever gone into a place that you like kind of question, like, this is pretty bad in here?
No. No. And this is probably bizarre to say. I'm sad that I haven't experienced that yet. I thought that it was going to be like that at the House in Between in Florence, Mississippi, because of what I had heard about it, and just poltergeist type activity and demonic and all the things. And I remember one investigation that we did. This group of people was telling us, this is the worst part of the house. This is where everybody feels they get sick, and be careful, you may pass out. And I was like, I am so calm in this room. Well, then we ended up going upstairs, and that was the room that I was like, what is happening in here? But it still wasn't anything that I kind of felt like, maybe we shouldn't be here.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when you are hyped up to it. It could go either way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you can influence yourself into thinking you are sick or nothing.
Right.
I mean, usually no in between. So I don't do history before I go to a new place. That's just my thing. I go in blind because I don't want to be influenced.
Right.
Now, if I get stuff, I'll go back. I'll do history, then go back. Because I don't want to be, because you guys use a whole bunch of equipment too, like, as you said, EVPs. If you hear the word Sarah, you know, there's a ghost Sarah in here, and you go over EVP, you're probably going to hear the word Sarah on there. So I don't like to be influenced. That's just me. A lot of people are like, you have to do the history. And I'm like, I will, just after the fact.
After. It is cooler to find out after, because it's like, it's that aha moment, like, like, no way, we caught that. Like, I didn't realize that this was, going to happen, or that this was a thing, at the LaPointe Krebs house that we did the investigation a couple weeks ago. We didn't tell anybody any of the reported things for that very reason. We wanted them to experience things on their own and not be influenced. Like, when you hear tour company, a lot of people probably think, oh, well, they're about jump scares and they're fabricating things and making stuff up. And, we don't have to.
No.
We the stories are there. The situations have happened. We took a guy on a tour that was total skeptic and nice guy. But he let us know from the jump that
You don't believe in
he
this
don't
stuff,
believe.
right?
His wife dragged him out. We said, okay, cool. The very first stop was the L&N Railroad Depot in Ocean Springs, and he was standing back a little bit, and we were talking and explaining and going over the history part of it. And he called somebody over, but anyway, he said that he was seeing like this shadow peek around a door frame. And so we all stood back and looked, and it was like a 10-foot, in the older homes and spaces back then, they would have the windows above the doors that you could crank open, and it's to let the draft in and things like that, like ventilation.
Yeah.
And that's where he was seeing. Well, the next thing you know, we all started seeing it. So he was like, okay, I didn't expect anything to happen. And we tell people, the spirits are not circus animals. We cannot guarantee that any story that we tell you that you'll see or hear or feel. We have another stop that part of the story is where the woman was, she would always sit on her front porch and just kind of keep an eye on the neighborhood. And every time we stop there, no matter what, if it's the 6:30 tour or the 9 o'clock tour, if the wind's blowing, if it's windy out, it doesn't matter. That one spot every time, everybody's hair will just whoosh, just like, and it's unexplained. We don't know,
about, but
and so yeah, like I said, nothing made up. We don't do jump scare. We don't,
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's why we enjoy doing it. It's because you never know what you're going to get with it, for sure.
And I have to tell you too, at the La Pointe Krebs house, we had our tripwire out, and we started it off. We started it off with no sound, and then we moved over to another part of the house, and then we came back. We didn't take the tripwire with us. We were just doing like different segments of different things, and that tripwire did not go off one time. It was fine. It was fine. But at the very end, when we were thanking the house and thanking whoever interacted with us the whole entire time for allowing us to be there and to talk to us, it went off. It was the coolest thing. We were able to catch that on camera. And so that to me meant more
than seeing it go
off randomly the whole entire time, because it was kind of like, you're welcome, bye. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the tripwire because you have to get within like 2 inches for that thing to go off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's not like the dead bell where you can be 4 or 5 feet away from it. If you have your phone, it'll go off. The tripwire is like my go-to besides my recorder. And I love that thing. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I mean,
you think about the Phasma box that I had mentioned. Have you?
I have not used the Phasma box yet. I'm supposed to do an investigation with Future Ghost coming up, and they're pretty tight knit with Lona and Dark, so maybe they'll have one. I don't know. I've heard it. I've been trying to get a Fent box made for 6 months. Supposedly I might get one this summer. We will see, but I mean, I love my Spirit box. I use that all the time. That's like my go-to if nothing's really happening. I'll break out the Spirit box. I mean, obviously the recorder you don't know till a week later, so you don't know what you got. But EVP wise, I'm an EVP junkie. I'll record, if I'm in a place 8 hours, I'm recording 7 hours and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I will listen to that for 7 hours and 45 minutes. If I get one EVP, I'm happy.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, talking about
the gentleman that was founder of the La Pointe Krebs was Hugo Krebs. That was one of them. And, rule of thumb, and this probably better than us, that if one person hears it, it probably wasn't that. But if 2 or 3 people hear it, then that's what it was.
That's what it was.
And we got some really cool. Hugo came through on the Phasma box. We even had a little girl that said "blowing kisses" like in a sing-song voice. Yes. That was pretty cool. And so there's a lady there. Well, she was there. Her name is Julie Remy, and she was an African American slave back then. and they loved her. And so when Hugo was on his deathbed, he put in his will that, his executor was to continue with the emancipation of Julia. And so that's what happened. But then once she was emancipated, they kept her on the property and gave her own house, and she took care of the kids, and everybody loved her. Well, she's the only African-American that's buried in the family cemetery. And so when we heard the singing, we started talking to Julia and asking, is that you? Do you sing to the children? And we got a lot of responses from that. Mm-hmm. So,
but I was excited, for 3 days. I was so excited. I wouldn't post it or anything. I was like, I just got to create a video for this and everything. So,
oh, that's awesome. That's one of the reasons why we like Raven to help us with listening, because she either hears something or she doesn't. There's no influence whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Like for us to be there and to remember the conversation or the questions that are asked. And, speaking of that, the Estes method, that is like one of my favorites. I absolutely love that one. Yeah, I was watching one of your episodes last week or week before that, or the other day, you were talking about you guys were going to get blindfolded and handcuffed or something like that. Like,
I was going to bring that up, but yeah, we're doing that.
I was like, I want to be blindfolded and handcuffed and see what happens. I want in on that.
Yeah, people keep inviting me to investigations. They're probably going to stop sooner or later. So, I keep telling you invited me because I love playing games, but it's not, there's a reason I like playing games, because I think it helps with the investigation. Mm-hmm. You got to think, we're going to be in a prison. They were handcuffed. Mm-hmm. We're going to do it where they were in an electric chair and they were strapped down and they were blindfolded. So that's going to bring some spirits out. Maybe they have something to tell us. And that's why I'm huge in solos also. And I always try to push my team to do solos. And they don't like doing solos. But I'm like, we do poorhouses. We do hospitals. We do old nursing homes. That's what was there. A lot of people were there alone. And the only people that visited were nurses or doctors or a caretaker, one person. So it's about the investigation. They think I'm trying to scare them and push them to something they don't want to do. And yeah, a little bit. It's fun, but there's a reason for it also.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're using yourself as a trigger item by doing that, you know?
Right. And, what's more fun than getting handcuffed and blindfolded on a chair?
Exactly. That's a Saturday night around here.